am finally getting my Ocrevus infusion today. It has been the most stressful situation. I'm actually even 2 months overdue. I've been having a lot of trouble with my medical aid and just like all that kind of stuff. So it just made getting the Ocrevus infusion really, really difficult. But I am so glad that everything is sorted out and I can finally go and get my infusion. So this morning has been filled with doing things to kind of prep myself for the infusion, prep my veins to be poked because my veins are like bad veins, and so sometimes it takes them a lot of tries to poke them. I've been really hydrating myself and getting myself ready. I've already done some yoga just to kind of prep my body, my mind, and my soul for the infusion. I'm going to show you a little bit about what I've done so that you can do the same thing when you are prepping for your infusion, because right now with Ocrevus, I have been having this medication for many, many years and I kind of consider myself a little bit of a pro. I've had really bad infusions and I've had really good infusions. So come along with me and you can see what I do. So first things first, I have prepped myself a cup of calendula tea. Calendula is an incredible herb to use before you go in for your infusion. The reason being is because it is very hydrating. So when you wake up on the morning of your infusion, because it is the morning, you're oftentimes dehydrated from sleeping through the night and from not having any water, and then you show up to your infusion and there might be some issues with poking you, finding a good working vein, put the infusion in. So I like to just make sure that my body is super prepped for before the infusion. So I like to drink calendula tea because of its hydrating properties. You can also opt for an electrolyte drink, so that would be some Celtic or Himalayan sea salt in a glass of water, and that's just going to set your body up for the infusion. Calendula is also very healing and it helps with depression. So if you are someone who gets the blues when it is your Ocrevus infusion, then this is going to be the perfect herb for you to have the morning of your infusion. It also really helps with nausea. I get super nauseous from the infusion and this just really makes me feel so much better. So I highly recommend calendula. I also will have some ginger tea with me, which helps with nausea. A lot of the time Ocrevus kind of mimics the symptoms of a common cold while you're getting your infusion, and so the ginger tea just really helps soothe the throat and also helps if you have nausea, while the calendula tea hydrates you and helps with depression or any blues that you have when you're getting your infusion. Please note that if you do get sad on the day of your infusion, it's perfectly okay. I get super sad. That's why I also like to bring a journal and some oracle cards just to help my mental health. It is a really big thing that you have an autoimmune disease. Multiple sclerosis is a serious disease, and so of course it's going to be quite overwhelming the day that you get your infusion because you're kind of faced with the fact that you have this illness. However, I really think that having self-care practices in place helps you cope with that anxiety or depression that you might experience on the day of your infusion, but also after your infusion. Okay, so I am now heading to the hospital for the Ocrevus infusion. Oh my goodness, I'm so nervous.
What's the angle? I'm not playing that game. It's the same business with a different name. Who's the target? Sorry, I'm not in the market. If I quit buying, you can't sell.
infusion is finally done and dusted. It is about 6 o'clock now. I am so exhausted. Overall, the experience was really good. But yeah, I'm feeling a little bit tired, and it really took much longer than I've had before. But that's not because of the fault of the people at the infusion center. It's just because I usually finish much earlier because I start much earlier. Today I started a little bit later, and they were just having trouble getting everything in order, and so unfortunately I finished a little bit later. So it's 6 p.m. now. I am just going to hydrate. I'm going to drink a lot of water. I also had a lot of electrolytes. I'm feeling super tired, so I'm just going to take it easy for the rest of the night, and I'm probably going to pick this vlog up again tomorrow morning and just let you know how everything's going, and then just speak a little bit about the infusion and then my self-care practices post-infusion, post-Ocrevus infusion. So yeah. The infusion finished quite late yesterday, and I didn't have a lot of energy after to film, so it is currently the next day and I'm going to update you on some of my symptoms. I just realized I forgot to put my mic on the camera, so let me quickly do that, and then I'll be back and let you know how I'm feeling. My symptoms post-Ocrevus have actually been really intense. I have felt super dizzy, and I'm feeling a lot of congestion and tightness around my ears. It kind of feels like there's an elastic band around my head that's just like compressing my brain. So this is the first time I've had a reaction like this, and I'm not really sure why I'm having such an adverse reaction to the medication. I think it is because I am 2 months over my infusion date. Like, for example, you're supposed to have it every 6 months, and I had it in 8 months' time, and that's because we were having such trouble getting the medicine approved by my medical insurance. So it was quite a big deal, and yeah, I'm not feeling really good. I had a really bad sleep last night, and I think that's because of the cortisone shot. It was giving me a lot of heart palpitations, and just all around, I'm not feeling my best. Usually I feel quite good after having the Ocrevus infusion, but this time, yeah, my symptoms are a little bit up and down. So yeah, I'm just gonna take it really easy. I do have some work. It's a normal weekday for me, so I still have a lot to do. However, I'm not feeling my best, so I'm just gonna take it really easy and do what I can. It is such a rainy day, but there is something so nice and cozy about the rain, especially when you're not feeling your best. One of the things that I've been doing to support myself post-Ocrevus infusion, especially with that cortisone shot, is having a lot of adrenal cocktails. So basically, an adrenal cocktail really supports your adrenals, especially when you're in a state of stress. So I'm going to be having this throughout this week. It is basically vitamin C, which you can have in the form of orange juice or lemon water. I then put a scoop of collagen powder. You then do a fat, so anything from coconut milk, coconut cream, or 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. And then you add a little sprinkle of Himalayan sea salt or Celtic sea salt. And that is basically just going to support your adrenals, support your body as you move through the Ocrevus and the steroids that you have during the Ocrevus infusion. This is really important. I do this every time I go and have my Ocrevus infusions, and it really helps support me, helps me sleep, and just helps me calm down after having such a heavy dose of medication in my body. I have just finished making myself my favorite anti-inflammatory turmeric and black pepper tea. I've shared this recipe so many times on here, and this also just helps support the body, especially when you have an autoimmune disease, because people who have autoimmune diseases have a lot of inflammation in the body. So this is also just supporting me. Something that's really important to me after my Ocrevus infusions is to spend that next week just taking extra care of myself. I know that because we go through this so much, we might not realize how big a deal this is on our bodies, but it actually is a huge procedure. It is a huge thing to have to go through. Your body really needs that extra support. And also on a mind, soul, spiritual level, it's also important just to be there for yourself and nurture yourself. So I like to nurture and nourish myself through the foods that I eat, but also on an emotional and spiritual level by being extra kind to myself, nurturing and nourishing. Cozy feelings at the moment. I've been reading my book, A Court of Mist and Fury. If you haven't read this series, I highly recommend it. I'm enjoying it so much. And I'm also hydrating, drinking lots of water. I'm definitely not feeling my best, and I'm just trying to accept that this is how I feel and that it's a temporary experience. And I'm just hoping that by the end of the week, I will feel a lot better. It feels super weird to be dizzy and feeling so like icky. I'm just feeling very slow and very lethargic, and I'm feeling a little bit disappointed. I was really hoping that I would feel so much better after my Ocrevus infusion. And yeah, it makes me feel a little bit sad that I'm having such a weird reaction to it this time, especially since I usually do so well in this medicine. And I know that this is a temporary experience, and I'm sure that in the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna feel right and I'm gonna feel much better, but I'm also just allowing myself to go through all the emotions about how I feel at the moment and just let myself be sad, be worried, be a little bit anxious, and also just allow all these feelings. Because I've noticed that when I start suppressing my emotions and I start saying things like, you shouldn't feel this way, or you should just be grateful that you had the medicine, and all these kinds of things, I find that that's spiritual bypassing, and that just completely negates how I'm actually feeling. And I do believe in the power of positive thinking, but I also believe in the power of honoring where you are and just allowing yourself to move through these emotions and experiences. I'm actually really excited because tonight I'm having a shamanic healing, and it is definitely what I need. I really need some nourishment and nurturing. This year has been quite difficult for me, and so I'm needing a little bit of that extra support, and I'm really grateful that I'm having this shamanic healing. I haven't been feeling like drinking water. I've also been super nauseous, so I made myself a really nourishing curry, and I'm gonna have that later tonight for dinner. And that's like the only thing that I can eat at the moment that's not making me feel sick. And I have not been thirsty at all. So I also know that not drinking enough water is probably adding to my feelings of dizziness and feeling lethargic. And so I'm trying to stay hydrated just so that I can get on top of those symptoms. And I know that water will help. Water is always good anyway, also to just detox all that cortisone from my system. So yeah, I'm going to drink my water, read a little bit more of my book, and then I'm going to get ready for the shamanic healing, and I'll keep you updated on how that all goes.
Looking through an hourglass.
So I decided that instead of having my bean curry for dinner, I actually made myself a mushroom pasta, just because I had the curry for lunch and I'm craving something a little bit different, and my nausea has gone down a little bit, so I thought that like a nice creamy mushroom, garlic, onion and thyme pasta would be so delicious. I think I'm also going to fry some bacon so that I can add that to the pasta, and I'm just really looking forward to it. I think I'm actually going to eat it quite soon because I have my shamanic healing at 7. It's about 5, or it's about 5:30 now if I'm not mistaken. So I want to eat, digest that food, and then just like prepare for the shamanic healing, and yeah, just get myself ready. I am looking forward to it, and I'm feeling super cozy. I absolutely love this weather. So I think I'm going to eat my dinner by the Christmas tree. I'll show you how beautiful the Christmas tree is. I absolutely love this time of year because I love sitting by the lights. It makes me feel so cozy, and I love watching really wholesome movies. So I think I'm going to do that and have like such a lovely, cute little evening by myself. I'm really looking forward to it. This is the Christmas tree.